And welcome to
Cyrils Brettspiele.
with
Nils.
and Kathleen.
King. Kathleen, thank you.
Today we are talking about Medieval Academy from Iello games. So, you or I? Rules?
You can explain.
Okay, I go for it.
The king commands it as so.
And I will do it. As a pleasant. The game is very easy and you have a really good helper card here. So what you're doing first is dealing out 5 cards. So everybody in the game gets simply 5 cards. Then it's a typical drafting system. So you have 5 cards here, you pick one card, take it to you and draft the other ones. In the first round you draft clockwise, then counterclockwise and back and forth. So when you have all your 5 cards you get from the draft, then we are going into the action phase according to this helper sheet here. So, and on your turn, when it's your turn, you just simply play one of your cards. Let's assume I play this card. Then I get 3 on the dragon track. That means 1, 2, 3 points on the dragon track. If then the next player in clockwise order places a card and so on. Whenever someone is landing on top of it, it's considered as first player, second player, so red is in the leading position. When you played 4 out of your 5 hand cards, you simply burn the last card and you take only 4 turns. After that, we are coming to scoring, and scoring is simple. You have this gallantry here, which gives you a favor. So then you have these 2 knights here. These 2 knights are both of them blue, so when you play one of these cards you can choose either that or that. The other ones are always symbol and color coded, so this back you find it on here, so this card belongs to this track. However, scoring, you have a little scroll here and the scroll says this card will score in round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. This and that as well. This will be only scored in round 3 and 6, and these both are only scored in round 6 at the end of round 6. Scoring is very easy and simple. Player who's in first get 3, second 2, third one 1, last player get nothing, or the last 2 player get nothing. You have other ones where the last player get -3, the second last gets -1. Please notice that the gallantry, these both and these both, has a refresh after 3 rounds. That means, let's assume it's like this. After 3 rounds, you simply take these tokens and bring it back to 0. You play the game exactly 6 rounds, and when the game is over after 6 rounds, the player with the most victory points win the game and became a spot on the round table of King Arthur. And yeah, he will be the next Sir or even a knight.
Thank you, Sir Nils, for doing the rules so well.
You heard me.
It's good to be king.
And now I'm Sir Nils. You got it, right?
Yes.
Not the English Sir, just to make it very clear up front, not getting any problems with lawsuits or things like that.
Ich bin ein König.
And I'm a Sir right now,
Right.
so I'm part of the great round table from Arthur.
Yes.
Alright, let's talk about the game. So first of all, the components, for me, yeah, there's nothing wrong. Nothing good, nothing wrong, so nothing outstanding. I like Excalibur, but this is just one of these tiny... Yeah, I know.
My sword's bigger than your sword.
Do we do this one? Yeah. Anyway, I like it as a first player token, but I mean, otherwise there's nothing outstanding. The discs are standard discs. Cardboard is standard cardboard.
I wish these tokens were a little bit bigger. This is a game that you probably would play with kids. This is, I think, definitely geared more towards smaller children. And I think these discs are a little bit small for little hands to reach over, pick up. So if those were a little bit bigger, I think that would make more sense.
Yeah, I mean, you could do poker chips like Splendor in it. That would be outstanding. But then the price range is $10 more.
Right.
So, I mean, yes, you can, but is it worth it?
Yes. The king demands this.
Okay. And listen to the king. So, I have no complaints about the components, but I have to say there's nothing outstanding. It's just standard. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just normal standard.
Right.
For me. Yeah, and as a game goes on, the first 2 or 3 times I really liked it. The first 2 or 3 times it was interesting to learn the mechanics, how it feels, and feeling that nothing is really wrong. But the 4th or 5th times I thought, wow, it's getting a little bit boring. Let's do it. Let's finish it.
Well, and I watched you play it the first time you played it here, and I won't say that it was a game that seemed to really grasp my attention. You play cards, you know, and then you kind of move stuff. I mean, there's some decisions to be made, but really, as far as was it something like, oh, what's that? That looks cool.
Yeah, but the first time we played it in here, I would say I was totally into the game, totally. The first time?
No, yeah.
What?
No, I mean...
I had the feeling.
Right. No, I thought like that it's a game that works as far as, you know, the mechanics, you know, making everything in balance, players have some choices to make, but ultimately I don't think it's really that interesting of choices that leads to any kind of meaningful tension, that builds to any sort of point that's like super exciting. The points are secret, so because that's secret, then I think especially if you're playing this with little kids, they'd have a harder time tracking, you know, who's got what. So they'd be operating kind of, you know, in a fog until the end of the game. I think 6 rounds is a bit much. I think this game would do well at 5 rounds. I think 5 is really all you need, especially if you're playing this game with kids. And that's, you know, I think everything for this game should really be about playing, and the art is designed to appeal to children. But I would say that you use this game to get kids excited and learn how to make some decisions, think about resources, think about in-game scoring, think about end-game scoring. You use this as a training game to leave behind to play other games.
Interesting point. I've never thought that way.
Once a kid played this for a few times, then they're ready for other things, and they probably would not want to go back to this.
I can feel what you're saying, because I had exactly the same feeling. The first 2 times I wanted to learn how it works, and everything was fine and smooth, and then I wanted to make it better the second one and perfection it for the third one. But after that, it was just falling down.
Right.
And okay, now play a card.
Right. If the most exciting thing, you'd be like, oh, you put your chip on top of my chip. You know.
Yeah.
You have to kind of think about how exciting that would be, and that's why I think the game is a little bit long for what it is, especially for playing with children. Even if some of us are just big children.
Yeah, I think we're coming a little bit into mechanics, and mechanics-wise, I would say, technically there's nothing really new on the game.
No.
It's just drafting and playing your card.
Right.
So,
and even for the drafting, you know, it's just a simple draft where you just you know, take one pass, take one pass, take one pass, take one pass, and you might as well just deal cards face up to people and then skip that whole step, maybe give like 7 cards, because really, you know, it's kind of a crapshoot anyway. I mean, yes, there may be slightly more decisions, but honestly, I feel like if you just dealt out cards and people played with what they had, that to me is a little bit more interesting than just drafting, because you just, especially with the full table with 5 people, 5 cards, you're not going to see any of the same cards again in the draft. So who cares?
And now we are coming to a very interesting point from my perspective. So when I played that always was a full swing, so I had the feeling, it doesn't matter, pick the highest card, whatever is in there, and then that's it.
Right.
So you never see your cards again.
Right.
You get 5 cards, you have 5 players, so you never get the starting hand back again.
Right.
But on the other hand, it was more crowded on the board. There was more fighting for the first and second place. When we played that with 3 people, on the other hand, even if you saw your cards coming around and you could see, oh, one of these other guys took that card out of, so what would I fight for? However, there was no fight for.
Right.
Because, hey, you have max 1 competitor. The other one totally said, okay, I'm passing on that pass.
Yeah, and I hear you. I think if it was me, if I were to play this, I would probably experiment with just dealing out a straight hand of cards, maybe 7 cards, maybe 8 cards, and then making decisions from that with that larger hand. I think you've got a better chance of making meaningful decisions because as it is, if you're just drafting and then it's also based on what other people are doing, when you have luck on top of luck in a game that thematically could be anything, you know, that there's you want to at least give players the idea that they're making more choices. And I don't feel like I didn't really feel like I had any choices to really get excited about one way or the other.
I got all your points on decisions, except for the point of the theme. So even if that could be any theme, I agree with that. I like the theme. That is the only thing I still like on the game, which is really the theme. I think the theme is good. It's, for me, it's a little bit of fresh still. So having a little squire that wanted to shine for on the round table, that's not a game I played 500 times before. So the artwork definitely support the theme perfectly.
The only thing I would say is that there's one female character. She's the pretty princess trapped in the tower, and
yes,
with that gorgeous golden blonde hair. I wish that they had more characters that were female. I don't care that women weren't necessarily knights back then. I would like to see.
You saw my blonde hair?
It's gorgeous.
Thanks.
But I would like to see women in games, especially games for children, where women are not just objects, they are agents who can do cool things.
That's fair point, yeah. Okay, I got it. And that would be easy in this game, by the way. You could make double-sided boards. That would be so easy. And I mean, obviously, and to be honest, some of these boards are double-sided to have different abilities on the other side. I got it. But why not changing the artwork from the king into a queen?
Or the lady king.
What is the lady? Yeah, okay. Anyway, so let's just briefly talk about fun and replayability. So, I mean, we covered all of that before, but just for one sentence. So, replayability for me is probably 5 times, then it's done.
If that.
Oh, that's a brutal comment.
Well, and I like the idea of what this is as far as like a stepping stone game for kids. This could be a gateway game to kids for them to play other games where they have to make meaningful decisions. There's 7 different boards they can decide from. I think that's a manageable number. They get a hand of 5, which I'm not totally in love with, but the number of decisions they have to make is not great. It is a good training game for other games later. Is it one that I will buy? No.
Okay, I got your point. So for you, it's just a training game, and as a training game, you would say, try it out 2 or 3 times, and then that's it.
That's it.
And yeah, I would say, if you have the chance to check it out, probably you will check it out 1 or 2 times, but don't buy it before you try it.
Buy it only if you have kids.
Or if you tried it and you highly like it. Could happen.
It could. Theoretically. It is possible.
There are so many individuals out there. Why not?
Right. Sure. The 2 of you that are out there that absolutely love Medieval Academy, that you make fan art, that you cosplay for it, go for it. I will lend you my sword. Call me. I got a crown. It's cool. But, yeah.
Okay. Thanks so much for watching Cyrils Brettspiele with
Kathleen.
You're still alive. That's good.
King Kathleen. Oh, it's in my back soon.
And Nils, and see you next time. And yeah, I have no idea what we are talking about next time, but probably.
Hopefully something good. I'm just kidding. This is a good game. It's a good game. It's not great.
Hopefully something that is appealing to more than just 2 people.
Yes.
Okay, see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.